Hello friends, I have just sat down to start some meal planning and I thought I should take you guys along with me and show you how I do my planning and also some shopping. I thought that might be helpful to some of you, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. I am currently planning for a fall inspired meal prep, which you guys will be seeing in the next video. So I'm going to need a few fall ingredients, some of which I have already and some I will need to get at the store. But first, let's take it back a little bit and I'm going to walk you through the steps that I usually take in order to plan out a meal prep. First thing that I like to do that I've actually found saves me a lot of money is to shop what I already have in the pantry, fridge, and freezer. I do feel like I have a pretty well-stocked pantry already, but my fridge is definitely lacking right now. I haven't been grocery shopping in well over a week because we have been a little bit sick and I just haven't felt like going to the store. So the fridge is really pretty empty and I think the freezer is as well. Let's take a look. On the top shelf, I basically just have a couple sauces and soup broth pastes and a couple small leftover items, as well as my peanut butter jelly, jalapenos, just a couple random items. We also have a small amount of cherry tomatoes and peaches, a block of extra firm tofu, some vegan cheese slices, leftover pasta shells. In the back, I have sourdough starter, vegan kimchi, coconut water, and chickpeas, which I plan to make hummus with. In here, I have some leftover herbs. Actually, let me just show you guys how fresh these have stayed. This cilantro is over 2 weeks old by now, and it is still perfectly fresh and totally fine to use. So I just keep it rolled in a dampish paper towel and then in a Tupperware, and that seems to keep it really fresh. We also have some veggie broth. This is some more herbs. My mother-in-law gave me this mint to use almost 3 weeks ago now, and it is also still perfectly fresh. In the crisper drawer, I just have some carrots, some chopped carrots and celery, some washed baby bok choy. I also just have a Tupperware full of canned pumpkin that needs to be used up. And then in the bottom drawer, I just have some lemons, apples, tortillas, and a bag of celery. Now this freezer might look a little chaotic, but I promise it is organized chaos. I know exactly where everything is. So you can see we just have our frozen kale that I made in the last batch prep. These frozen cranberries are also from the last batch prep. And then I also just have some random frozen veggies in here like green peas. I have some edamame. This is also where I keep my extra supply of nuts like cashews. We have some frozen corn in here, frozen riced cauliflower, etc. And then on our dining room table, I just have some pumpkins, squash, and sweet potatoes. I like to use these as display before we eat them because they're just so cute. So of course we have the sweet potatoes, a couple kabocha squash, some delicata squash, and a butternut squash. And now looking through the pantry, you can probably see I have a fair amount of beans and grains. Those are both pretty much pantry staples that I seem to always have one or the other on hand. I do have quite a few different varieties of beans as well because I like to mix it up. So usually I don't need to buy any beans or grains at the store. I usually have enough for each meal prep each week. Other things that I run out of pretty quickly are things like pasta and noodles. My husband really loves noodle soups, so we go through those really quickly. Pasta is another one that we go through pretty quickly as well. And so anytime I run out of something like that, I actually just add it directly to my shopping list as soon as I run out. So that's something that I'll keep in the Notes app on my phone. I just find that it's the easiest place to keep my grocery list. So I have a running list going on my Notes app at all times, and I just add things there as I run out of them. And then on the day that I'm doing my meal planning and about to go shopping, then I'll pull up my grocery list and see if there's anything else that I need to add on there. Now I've also already ordered a produce box, which is going to be arriving later today. I think I've mentioned this in a few videos before. I have started using this produce delivery system. The company is called Odd Bunch and it is local to Toronto, but they also do the outer Toronto areas. So if you're in a city that is nearby Toronto, you might want to check out their delivery list and see if they deliver to you. I also have a promo code. I will link that down below in case you want to try it out. You'll get money off of your first order. So I think they're a great company. What they actually do is take produce that otherwise wouldn't be able to be sold in the grocery stores and they deliver it right to your doorstep. The contents of what's inside, of course, will also change every week. So you get to try out produce that you may not have otherwise chosen. And best of all, it saves you a lot of money. I have calculated how much I would spend if I were to buy all of these things at my local grocery store store, it's usually at least $10 or $15 more than what I end up paying. Not to mention they deliver, so you don't even have to go to the grocery store if you don't want to. So I think it's a really good deal. There are a couple other similar companies in the US. I'll link those down below in case you want to check those out as well. But since this box is going to be delivered later today, I just want to check what produce is going to be inside, and that will also help me plan out my upcoming meal prep. So once I have a pretty good idea of what's in my fridge, freezer, and pantry, then I like to think about what is in season and or what is on sale. So I usually like to go to No Frills, which is a nearby, just basic grocery store. I find that they have some pretty good prices compared to the other grocery stores in my area. So I actually have an app for it on my phone where I can pull up that week's flyers and see what's on sale, or even just what's a good price and or what's in season at that time. So if I see something on the flyer that is on sale or something that's in season that looks delicious, then that might inspire me to pick a recipe that uses that item, or maybe even a couple recipes if it's a large item like a butternut squash. I can usually make 1 or 2 recipes out of a large butternut squash. And then lastly, I also just like to think about what we've been craving lately. So if I have a particular meal craving or something sounds really good to me at that time, then I'll usually add those ingredients to my shopping list as well, or maybe I'll ask my husband if he's craving something in particular, and that can also help me get some meal ideas. So once I have my ideas, which are either inspired by what I already have, what's on sale or what's in season, and or just what we are craving at that time, then I will sit down and try and plan some recipes. So what I like to do for recipes is to either find something that is already veganized or even just veganize a regular recipe myself. I find that nowadays it's pretty easy to swap out items to make something vegan and or a little bit healthier by maybe removing the oil. So I do a lot of times find just regular recipes online that I can easily swap out the meat, remove the oil if needed, and very easily make it into a healthy vegan dish. If you don't feel comfortable veganizing any recipes, then of course just type in the word vegan before whatever recipe you're looking for, and you'll probably find a lot of options that way as well. There are plenty of recipes that are already veganized, so either way you like to do it is fine. So now between what I'm getting delivered in the produce box and also what I already have in my pantry, fridge, and freezer, I actually don't need to get that much at the grocery store, just a couple items that I need to pick up, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me. I do like to peruse the sale items just to make sure I haven't missed anything that's a really good deal. Lots of tofu options here. We're gonna need some pumpkin pie spice for baking. And then I just headed over to Healthy Planet, which is another store that I like to get some of my organic produce and then also some specialty items. And then by the time I got home, my box had been delivered. So I'm just going to take everything out. Looks like today we got some bananas, some clementine oranges, 2 grapefruit, a box of blueberries, 3 bell peppers, a bag of baby potatoes, green cabbage, another butternut squash, a pineapple, a box of grapes, a head of lettuce, 2 cucumbers, and some more sweet potato, a lot of onions, and a few apples. At the regular grocery stores, I just got a couple bags of pasta, pumpkin pie spice, a box of mushrooms, a bunch of rainbow chard, a couple heads of broccoli, a box of firm tofu, some vegan sausages, and vegan just egg. Now, once you have all of your groceries home, you can do one of 2 things. You can either put everything away and just prep it all the next day, or of course, you can just wash and prep everything right then and there if you have the time to do it. If I've happened to go grocery shopping quite late in the day, I usually will wait until the morning. I just like to do it when I have a little more time and energy. But if it's pretty early in the day when you've done your shopping, then I like to go ahead and just get it all done right then and there. Now, if you are newer to my channel and you haven't seen how I do a batch prep, I'll leave this video right here as an example. This is basically how I take all of this produce and get it ready for the week ahead. And then of course, once the full fall meal prep with all of this produce is ready, I will link that one right here as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and found it helpful. And with that, let's eat plants, and I'll see you guys next time.